You turn it, it's kind of hot in here. Okay, hello everyone. How's everyone today? How's everyone today? How are you, Shahad?
Good. I'm doing.
How are you, Ju Bagash?
Yes.
How are you?
Oh, thank you.
Good. How are you, Mazan?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm very well. How are you, Recta? How are you, Recta? Muhammad, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Omar, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Trad, how are you doing today? Trad, how are you today? Oh, I think he
Yes,
went on.
doctor. I'm fine, doctor.
Good. Jude Ali, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Lebna, how are you? Lebna? Recta,
Yes,
how are you?
fine, thank you.
All right. All right. Yesterday we went over a lot. We covered a lot yesterday. What I want to do, just to refresh, I want everyone, I'm going to pull up a picture, kind of like the same drill we did on Sunday. I'm going to post a picture. First, before we start, make sure you do the attendance for hour one. Make sure you complete the attendance for hour one. Do that now. Make sure you complete the attendance for hour one. All right. Hopefully everyone has done the attendance for hour one. What I want you to do, I'm going to post a picture. And just like we did on Sunday, in the chat box, I want you to write the sentence that I tell you. Let's start with this picture. All right, let's look at that picture. Take a couple of seconds to look at that picture. And I want you in the chat box, I want you to write a simple sentence about this picture that you see. I want you to make sure you have proper capitalization, proper punctuation. All right. So that means you should have the proper punctuation at the end of the sentence. Okay. So take a couple minutes and write a simple sentence about this picture. You can put your answers in the chat box. All right, Mazan, the men are dance. The men are dance. What do we want to say there, Mazan? The men are, I think we want to say the men are dancing, right, Mazan? The men are dancing. The men are dancing. All right, Regda, they are from United Arab Emirates. Okay, we just need our article there, Regda. They are from the United Arab Emirates. So it's some nations, some countries, you need a determiner. Okay. Normally if it's a conglomerate or a collection of nations or cultures, we normally put the in front of the nation. Like for instance, we'll say the United States, the United Arab Emirates, the former Soviet Union, the United Kingdom. Okay, but you don't have to say the. You don't have to say the Saudi Arabia, or you don't have to say the Zimbabwe, or you don't have to say the Spain or the Italy. All right, but normally when there's a collection of states or cultures, or a collection of collection of states or cultures, we say the. So the United Kingdom, the United States, the United Emirates, the former Soviet Union, the Czech Republic. Okay. Let's see. Jude Bagash, I see men dancing the folk dance of their country. I see men dancing the folk dance of their country. That's good, Jude Bagash. Just make sure you put the full stop at the end of that sentence. We need a full stop at the end of that sentence. Omar says, all the men wears white though. Now we did our class on subject verb agreement yesterday. So how do we fix that, Omar? What's the proper subject verb agreement there? Also, make sure you put the full stop at the end of that sentence, Omar. Full stops at the end of every sentence. But fix that subject verb agreement. What should it be? All the men, what? White those?
Okay.
Jude Ali, the man having a good time. How many people are there? Jude Ali. All right. And then we also need our helping verb, because you got a progressive tense. So we need a helping verb there. The men are having a good time, right, Jude Ali? There's more than one man there. Isn't that correct, Jude Ali? Jude
I'm
Ali?
correct in down.
So it's more than one. So the plural of man is what? What's the plural of man, Jude Ali?
Yeah, I know, but I correct in down.
Okay.
Mm.
So the men, it should be the men are having a good time, full stop. Caddy says, this is culture. All right, Caddy, we need our antecedent. So we always need an antecedent that represents this. So never say this is it's okay in informal English, but in formal English, you don't say this is or that is. All right, you need the antecedent. You need the word that this is representing. This dance is culture, or this tradition is culture. All right, or this event is culture. All right, Caddy? Or Kadai?
Okay.
All right, so never say this because it needs that this is. Don't do that because that means you don't have a subject. Okay. Always say this and then it's point to specifically what this represents. This event is culture. This dance is culture. These grapes are delicious. This country is hot. That car is beautiful. Okay. Don't say this is, that is. Okay. Trad says, if seems that the people of the Emirates are celebrating what? All right, Trad, we got to help you out a little bit. No, we only want a simple sentence, Trad. So I think you want to say, it seems as if the people are from the Emirates. Why don't we just say concisely, Trad, these men are from the Emirates. These men are from the Emirates. Let's just say that, okay? These men are from the,
Okay.
or these men are Emirati. These men are Emirati. Okay, Trad?
Okay. Okay.
We just want a simple sentence. I'll type it for you.
Other one.
These men are Emirati. Or we could say these men are from the
Emirates.
Emirates. Okay,
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
no problem. Shahad, Emirati men dancing the tradition. Okay. Now, Shahad, open your mic for a second.
Yes.
Tell me what's the problem. What's the problem with your sentence here?
Okay. I said, just a second. Marathi man dancing the internet. Okay. International. Hold on. I think it's wrong in the word international.
No,
I will fix it.
no. You only have one
Yeah.
one problem. You
What?
need a helping verb. What's the helping verb you need that? You need a to be verb.
Okay. I
Well,
don't know.
we can fix it two ways, or two things that probably should be addressed. So
Okay.
we want to talk about the men in the picture, right? So we should say
Yes.
these Emirati men are dancing. are dancing.
Okay.
Anytime you use the present progressive, you need a to be verb. I am singing. They are dancing. He is swimming. We are going. So anytime you have the ing,
Yes, we should have
to
be
be
اللي هي
be-
be أيوة be verb was where or is are yeah I
yes.
remember that. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. Okay. So anytime you're using a present progressive or past progressive, ing, you should have a to be verb. We are going. They are eating. She is singing. We are running. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I fixed it.
All right. Now what I want you to do is put the Emirati men. Put a determiner in front of Emirati men. So you can say the Emirati men are dancing the traditional dance, or you can say these, because you're referring to the picture. You can say these Emirati men are dancing. So always put your determiner there. We call that a determiner because it determines who you're talking to or referring to. These Emirati men, the Emirati men, our Emirati men. Okay, put a determiner. Caddy says the women are taking. We don't need. All right, Caddy. We don't need the article or the determiner A here. So you can just, Caddy, we could just say the women are taking pictures. The women are taking pictures. Okay, so we don't need the determiner or the article in front of pictures there. So the women are taking pictures. All right. All right, Omar, all the men wear white thobes. No, we're referring to the picture. So I think you need to put that in the progressive. All the men, okay, all the men wear white, okay. You can say all the men wear white thobes. So again, just like Caddy, you don't need A. So I think that's what we should do today is talk about determiners. It's particularly talk about articles. So I think that's what we'll do today. All right, that's what we'll do today since it looks like that we're having an issue with that. So let's talk about articles today. Give me 1 second. Did everyone else, let's see, did I cover everyone? Ragda says women are plural. Yes, women are plural. Woman is singular, women are plural. Muhammad says the men have sticks. Okay. Are they sticks? What are they? Are they sticks? Yeah, they are sticks. We call those, aren't they called canes? I think we will call those canes. But sticks work too. I guess they're the traditional canes for the Emirates. All right. Let's see. Where's my chat box? The women are taking pictures. So Muhammad, that's right. The men have sticks is good. Jude Ali, men have a good time. So let's put that in the present progressive. Or we could put it in the past. Jude Ali. Are you there, Jude Ali?
Yes.
So why don't we say, because we're describing the picture, right?
Yes.
Why don't we say the men are having a good time? All right. The men are having a good time. Or you could say the men were having a good time. Depends on what tense you want to put that picture in. So if you want to put it in the past tense, you can say the men were having a good time. If you want to put it in the present tense, you can say the men are having a good time. Okay. The men were having a good time. Or we could say the men are having a good time. All right. Because we're talking about, or we're describing the picture. So depending on the situation, you could put it in the past tense or the present tense. Okay, let's see, I'll make sure I don't miss anyone. I think I covered everyone. So let's talk about articles for 1 second. Well, not more than 1 second. We're gonna talk about it for as a lesson. Stop sharing that. While we're doing that, let me put another picture up. This time, I want you to write a compound sentence while I prepare the slide for articles. And I'm gonna put another picture up for you. This time, I want you to write a compound sentence. Remember, in a compound sentence, you need the fan voice, right?
Yes.
Let's do this one. All right. So in the chat box, write a compound sentence about this picture. A compound. All right. Remember, start with a capital letter. Every sentence begins with a capital letter. You must have the comma before the coordinating conjunction, and then the proper punctuation at the end. Okay. All right. We have two sentences so far. Give you guys a couple more minutes. All right. Regda says Amina is drawing by henna. So Fatima is waiting for her. Okay, Regda, the sentence is good. The only thing you don't, you can just delete by. You don't need by there. You can just say Amina is drawing henna or making henna, comma, so Fatima is waiting for her. That's good. So just delete the by, Regda. Mazan says she loves henna, comma, so she puts henna on her hand. That's good. Make sure you put the comma is in the right place, but the space is wrong. So it goes right behind the A, not, you say, and then space so. So henna, comma, space so. Jude Ali says Nora loves crafts, so she made and sewed them. Okay. Yeah, that works. That's good. Good job, Jude Ali. All right, give me more sentences, more sentences, more sentences. More sentences, more sentences. Where are my sentences? Caddy, Trad, Omar, Shahad, Lebna. Lebna, you're quiet today. Are you there, Lebna? All right, Caddy says the woman liked henna, so she worked in it. She worked in it. The woman liked henna, comma. So the comma is, make sure you put the comma right after that A. No space. The woman liked henna, comma, space. So she worked on it. Maybe not in it, but on it. All right. So she learned it, maybe. So she learned how to draw henna or how to make henna. Okay. Come on, we only got 4. 4 sentences. Let's try Omar. Where's everyone at? Right now we only have Regda, Mazan, Jude Ali, Caddy. Where's everyone at? Trad, Jude Bagash. Let me see your sentences, please. All right. I love henna, so I put it on my hands and hair. Who's that? Whose sentence is that? I love henna, so I'll put it on my hands and hair. Who is that? Can you open your mic? Who wrote that sentence? I love henna, so I put it on my hands and hair. Is my mic on? Is my speaker, somebody say something, make sure my speaker is working.
Teacher, I think she is a new student.
Yeah, I think it's new, yeah. Who are
No,
you?
teacher. جد بقداش بس in Arabic. Just in Arabic.
Oh, is this Jude
جد
Bagash?
بقداش.
Oh, okay. Oh, you switched accounts?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, Jude, make sure you put your full stop at the end of the sentence, but the sentence is good. I love henna, comma, so I put it on my hands and hair. Full stop. Don't forget your full stop. Omar says she loves Saudi Arabia, so she puts henna on her hand. Full stop. Omar, make sure you capitalize Saudi Arabia. We're going to do a class on capitalization. All right, capitalize Saudi Arabia. Okay. She loves Saudi Arabia, capitalize, comma, space. Hey guys, make sure you're putting the comma in the right space. All right. The comma should never be in the middle like that. Okay. The comma should be right behind the word, right behind Arabia. Okay. Thin space. All right. All right. Thank you, Jude, for changing it back to English. Thank you. Shahad says, when drawing henna, the person must be calm. So the woman was calm. So Shahad, this one is more like a complex sentence. Okay, actually, yeah, this is what we call a compound complex sentence. Almost kind of the structure's a little off. But this is more like a complex sentence, henna. If you so if let's just take away the when drawing henna, okay? Let's take away when drawing henna. No, hold on a second. No, hold on. No, this is a simple sentence. You just got an introductory phrase there. Yeah, no, Shahad, this is a simple sentence actually. Because when drawing henna, there's no subject there. So that's a phrase. It's what we call an introductory phrase. So that's correct. You're right. When drawing henna, the person must be calm. That's your independent clause. So the woman was calm. Yeah, no, I was wrong. You're right. Shahad, that is a simple sentence because when drawing henna is an introductory phrase. It's a phrase because you do not have yeah, this is an introductory phrase. There's no subject verb relationship there. So that's good. All right. All right, so let's talk about articles because it seems like some of us are having issues with articles. So let's look at articles for a minute. So I'm going to stop that. And let's look at this presentation on articles. All right, does everyone see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right, so let's talk about when you use articles. Now, sometimes you're going to hear me, these are called articles. Articles, remember when we talked about the 8 parts of speech, Mazan, the first day we talked about the 8 parts of speech? Remember that?
Yes.
All right. Articles fall under adjectives. Okay. Articles are forms of adjectives. Okay, because they give us more information about nouns. But we particularly call them articles. Okay. And also we can call those, sometimes you will hear me call them, or you hear other people call them determiners because they determine the noun. So you can refer to an article as an adjective, as an article, or as a determiner. Okay, these are words you might hear. Okay. Now, the article, the big three articles that we talk about all the time are a, and the, because we use those words a lot in the English language. These are what we call high frequency words. They're used often in speech and in writing. Okay. And all an article is it modifies a noun. All right. And we talked about that word modify a lot over the last couple of days. Recta, what does modify mean again?
Gives more information.
Is more information. That's right. Describes. That's all that word means. All right. In grammar, it means something else in another context. In another context, it could mean to change. To change. But in grammar, it means to give more information, to describe. All right. So how do we use articles? Articles are really an issue of things that are countable. We use articles for countable things, countable nouns. All right. We use articles for nouns that we can count. Right. So we can count people, we can count cars, right? We can count ink pens, we can count laptops, we can count cell phones, smartphones, we can count t-shirts, shirts, sweaters, coats, right? Cats, dogs. We can count these things. Okay. We don't use articles for things that are not countable. Now, things that are not countable are interesting. So, like for instance, water is not countable. So water itself is not countable. Right? So you can't count water. All right. So we call water not countable. Sand. All right. There's so many grains of sand that you can't really count the grains of sand. So we say sand is not countable. Even rice. All right. We wouldn't say a rice. All right, we just say rice because we don't count every little grain of rice. So this is what we mean by countable. So we do not use articles for things that are not countable. So we don't say a water. We can say a cup of water, but we don't say a water. Okay. Okay. We don't say a rice. We just say rice. Okay. We don't say a sand. We just say sand. Okay. And that's mainly for a and an. Okay. Because you can say the water is running, the sand is brown. But for a and an, we don't say a water, a sand. Okay. You also have two types of articles, definite and indefinite articles. A definite article is the word the. Okay. And for definite articles, you can use those for countables and uncountables. Like I said, you can say the sand, you can say the water is running, the sand is hot. This is fine. But you would not say a sand is hot, and you would not say a water is running. Okay. All right. Now, I like to tell people we use the definite article the when we know the thing that we are talking about. Or we have been introduced to the thing that we're talking about, or we're familiar with the thing that we are talking about. All right. So the cat is under the table. All right, if it's my cat, or I know this cat, or I've been introduced to this cat, or I'm familiar with this cat, or I have some knowledge about the cat, then I can say the cat. However, if I don't know the cat, if I'm not sure or familiar with the cat, or this is my first time meeting the cat, I would say a cat. A cat is under the table if I don't know the cat. Now, if it's my cat, my house, I'm going to say the cat because I know what cat it is. Okay, so definite articles, we use the for things that we know or that we're familiar with. Okay. We use indefinite articles for things we do not know and things that we are not familiar with. All right. Can I borrow a pencil? All right. I've never had this pencil before. But if there's a particular pencil that I've used before that you have, I may say, or I should say, may I borrow the pencil? The pencil, yes, that pencil that you gave me yesterday. Okay. But if I want any pencil, I would say, can I borrow a pencil? I don't care. I don't need to be familiar with it. Can I borrow a cup of sugar? Now notice I said a cup of sugar, but I would not say a sugar because sugar is not countable. But cups are, so I could say a cup of sugar. I hope you guys are taking this down in your notes. So in your notes, you should write that articles modify nouns. The three articles are the, a, and an. Articles modify nouns. The three articles are the, a, and an. The is used for things that we know or that we're familiar with. The is used for things that we know and things that we are familiar with. Okay. A and an is used for things that we do not know and things that we are not familiar with. Okay, all this should be in your notes. A and an are indefinite nouns. The is a definite noun. So definite meaning we know it. Indefinite meaning we don't know it. A and an cannot be used with nouns that are not countable. They can only be used with nouns that are countable. Examples rather of non-countable nouns are nouns like water, sand, sugar. These are examples of non-countable nouns. Rice. Okay, so we will not say a sugar. We can say a package of sugar. We can say that because we're talking about packages and packages are countable. But we wouldn't say a sugar. We would say a package of sugar or a spoon, a tablespoon of sugar, but not just a sugar. Okay?
Doctor,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can we say the sand or the sugar?
We can say the sand. So we can say the sand and the sugar because the is definite. Okay. For things that we know, for definite nouns, you can use with uncountable or non-countable nouns. Yes. So you can say the sand is hot. The sugar is sweet. The water is running. Okay, you can, that's fine. But you cannot say a sand is hot. A water is running. A sugar is sweet. You cannot say that. A, again, indefinite articles A and N are for things that we do not know, that we are not familiar with. We use A with consonants, a package. We use an with vowels. So when the noun begins with a vowel, we use an. An apple. Okay. And an ice cube. An ice cube. Okay. Now, put this in your notes. There are some words that sound like there's some vowels that actually sound like nouns. So vowels that sound like nouns, we use a instead of an. All right, so vowels that sound like nouns, we use a instead of an. So we wouldn't say an umbrella. We would say a umbrella. Okay. Because umbrella doesn't take on a vowel sound. Okay, so we would say a umbrella. That's the exception to the rule. So if the vowel sounds like a now a consonant, excuse me, if the vowel sounds like a consonant, you use a. Okay, so again, you wouldn't say an umbrella, you would say a umbrella. Okay. I think also universities follow that. So we said a university instead of an university. Right? You would say a university instead of an university. Okay. I think unique also falls in that. Okay. All right. So any vowel, any word that begins with a vowel, but it sounds like a consonant, you use a. So like unique, university, umbrella. Okay. But the general rule is if you use a for consonants, words that begin with consonants, and use an for words that begin with vowels. Okay. We already said that. All right. Also, we do not use indefinite articles A and N with articles that describe liquids. Okay. Okay. And we do not use, we don't use articles for names, pronouns, or proper nouns. All right, so we wouldn't say a Ray Roberts or a Jude Begosh. All right. All right. We don't use articles with proper nouns or pronouns. A it or a me. All right, we don't do that. Okay. And we can see here. We can see here in the slide examples of when not to use an article. You don't say I am the happy, I am the happy. Well, because happy is not a noun anyway. So we only use articles in front of nouns. So it's I am happy. Give me a water. No, you would say give me a glass of water. I put something that's countable in front of water. I'm happy to see the Susie. No, Susie is a name. I'm happy to see Susie. Okay. Also, we don't use articles when we're being general. Okay, when we're just being general, we don't use articles. We use mainly articles when we're being specific. All right. All right. A lot of the exceptions you will learn over time through reading. So I don't want to get into the exceptions because they can get, we talked about some already. How to decide in your own right. First, look at your noun. Is it countable or non-countable? I want to describe a cat. Cat is countable. Okay. Right. Also remember, A and N is only for one thing. All right. A and N is only for one. All right. So you don't say a cats, a cat. A cars, no, just cars. Okay. So you can only use indefinite articles for one thing. Now, definite articles you can use for a singular and plural. The cars, the cats, that's fine. Okay. So the definite article is normally pretty flexible. It's the indefinite articles that you really need to know the exceptions to the rule. All right. Next, decide if the first time something has been mentioned. If it's the first time something's been mentioned, remember, you don't know it, then you definitely probably need an indefinite article. All right. So if it's the first time you've been introduced to something, or the first time you're explaining something, then your reader will be introduced to it for the first time. You will need an indefinite article, as long as it's one. Are you being specific or are you being general? All right. Remember, when you're being general, you do not need an article, or particularly an indefinite article. All right. When you're being general, you don't need an article. Also, if you're describing a specific noun, use the definite article. So you know it, or it's something specific. All right. If you're being more vague and unclear, or you don't know it, use the indefinite article. So again, the blue car, that means we already know that specific car. We've been introduced to that blue car before. But if I say a blue car, that means we don't know it, right? We don't understand it. We haven't met it. We're not familiar with it, okay? All right. Any questions about when to use articles? Any questions about when to use articles? Trad,
Yes, doctor.
how many types of articles are there?
What?
How many types of articles are there?
I don't know, doctor. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Jude Ali, how many types of articles are there?
2.
What are the names, Muhammad? What are the names of the 2 types of articles? Muhammad? Regda, what's the name of the two types of articles?
A1, A.
All right, but what's the name of the two types? You have the is what type of article? Okay, go ahead, Omar. What's the name of the two types of articles?
Definite and indefinite.
Definite and indefinite. Shahad, which article do we use when we're familiar with a noun? When we're familiar with it. We know it.
We know what that.
The, right. The definite article, the. Jude Bagash,
Yes.
do you use a indefinite article with non-countable nouns?
Yes.
We do. So we say it's okay to say, I like a sugar.
No, no. I
we
like
don't use-
sugar.
Right. So you would say, I would like a cup of sugar, right? Well, like a package of sugar. So we do not use indefinite articles, a and an, with non-countable nouns. Jude Bagash, give me another example of a non-countable noun. What's another non-countable noun?
What? Countable or uncountable?
Non-countable. Nouns you can't count.
Uncountable. I am drink coffee. One cup of coffee.
Right, so coffee is technically a non-countable noun, yes. You have to say cup of coffee. What's another example? See who else we have here. Caddy, what's another non-countable noun?
Countable.
Non-countable, nouns you can't count.
Give you an example.
Yes.
Okay. I have an example in countable.
Give me one that's non-countable. So, so we have
I need a cup of tea.
T is countable. Yeah, T is non-countable, yes. T is non-countable. Recta,
Rice, maybe.
rice is non-countable, yes. Water, non-countable.
Water.
Water is non-countable, okay. All right, any questions about articles, when to use them, when not to use them, how to use them? Any questions about articles?
Teacher,
Yes.
so we use the indefinite and uncountable with the, right?
Indefinite, so you use indefinite you use when it's countable and you do not know it. All right, that's what indefinite means. I'm not familiar with it. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Also, you use indefinite when you are when you're being specific. Definite articles, the definite article, the, you can use almost in many situations. All right. But we mainly use the definite article when we know it. And we don't use any article when we're being general. So the people are happy. Okay. But when we're being general, we don't use articles at all. The is when we're being The is when we know it. And A and N, indefinite, is when we don't know it. Remember, A and N is only referring to one noun, one thing. A cup of coffee. A coat. All right. A hat. We cannot say a hats. It's only for singular. One thing. One thing that we do not know. The can be more than one thing that we do know. The hats are red. Okay. Remember, in articles, we use them when we're being specific. So going back to that picture of the Emirati men dancing, we can say the men are dancing because we're specifically referring to the picture. Make sense? Lebna, you had your hand raised?
No, teacher. Just I want to answer.
Well, no worries. Omar, you have your hand raised?
Doctor, can you put the PowerPoint in the classroom?
Yeah, I was planning on doing that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No other questions?
No, doctor, thank you.
All right, we've been going for a while now. It's 2:15. Once you take a 20-minute break, come back at 2:35. So take a 20-minute break. Come back at 2:35. We will, I think I want to talk about capitalization next. So we'll talk about capitalization next. Okay. So 2:35. Make sure when while you take you do your attendance for hour 2. Everyone, please do your attendance for hour 2. All
Teacher,
right, we'll
now?
see. Yes. We'll see you at 2:35.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. Let's focus on capitalization today for this hour. I just uploaded the PowerPoint on articles in the Google Classroom. So you have that. Make sure you use the Google Classroom to your advantage. The Google Classroom will be available to you at all times. The Google Classroom is available to you at all times. Okay, so even when this course is over with, you can still utilize the Google Classroom. Okay. All right, take your notes out. Let's take some notes for capitalization. Okay. Capitalization is extremely important in writing because it tells the reader that the thing that you're naming is a proper noun. Okay. So it's important that we use the proper capitalization so our readers know what is formal, what names or what labels are formal, and what names and labels are not formal or informal. All right, so when do you use a capital letter and a lowercase letter? All right, so we're going to cover when to capitalize the first letter, first word, and use the pronoun I, and we're going to talk about proper nouns. All right, so if we were taking an assessment for capitalization, you might get a test question that looks like this. Wanda wouldn't offer her little brother a Christmas cookie because he ate all of her Halloween candy last October. All right. Can anybody tell me what word is supposed to be capitalized? All right, Mazan, what word is supposed to be capitalized?
October.
October, right. Very good. All right, we always capitalize the first letter of the first word of every sentence. Always, there's no exception to that. All right, so the first letter of any word that that begins a sentence is always capitalized. There's no exception to that rule. Okay. The first letter of every word that begins a sentence is always capitalized. So in this case, the rotten pear sat in a puddle of goo on the kitchen counter. Okay. Capitalize the pronoun I. So I as a pronoun is always capitalized. If that liar Darlene claims that she spent the night studying, I will say that I saw her kissing Thomas at the movies. All right. So anytime you use I is always capitalized. I as a pronoun is capitalized. All proper nouns are capitalized. All right, all proper nouns. That means days of weeks, months, days of weeks, months, proper names, the names that your mother and father gave you, or your government name. Okay, are always capitalized. Okay, days of the months, weeks, days of the week. Okay, the proper name, the proper name of a business. These are always capitalized. So this is an example. On Tuesday, capitalized. September, capitalized. Elizabeth, capitalized. Okay. Okay. Other titles before names, like Mr. Ray. Mr. is always capitalized, or Dr. Ray. Doctor is always capitalized. Right? Engineer Muhammad. Engineer is capitalized. Nurse Susie. Nurses are always capitalized. All right, so titles before names. Specific places, like the Eiffel Tower, okay, or Paris, Riyadh, okay, King Saud bin Abdulaziz University for Health Sciences, okay, Kingdom Towers, Faisalia Tower, McDonald's, Hershey's, Kentucky Fried Chicken. All religions are capitalized. Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Hindi, Buddhist. So all religions, all languages are always capitalized. Arabic, English, Spanish, French, Thai, Afrikaans, Chinese. All right, these are all capitalized. Product names are capitalized. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Scotty, Kleenex. These are all capitalized. Okay. Companies, Tesla, Apple, Samsung, Tamimi, okay. Al-Raji. Okay. These are all capitalized. Names of companies are all capitalized. Nationalities, holidays, all right? American, Saudi, Emirati, Chinese, French, Spanish, Polish. These are all capitalized. Nationalities capitalized. Holidays, Eid, Easter. All right, all holidays. Halloween, Thanksgiving. All these holidays should be capitalized. National Day, Departments. So in a university, there's a department, the IT department. Okay, student affairs. Okay. Assessment. These are all capitalized. Customer service, all capitalized. Government services. Historical areas. Or historical areas and areas. All right. So the Renaissance period, the Middle Ages. Okay. These are all capitalized. Regions of a country. All right. So Southern Riyadh should be capitalized. Central Riyadh. Okay. Names of college courses. English 101. Biology 203. Arabic 304. Philosophy 213. Okay. Algebra 101. Okay. Titles of books and works and plays and movies, capitalized. So anything that's formal in nature, any name or title that's formal in nature should be capitalized. Okay. So it's titles before names, Professor Stone, Uncle Jerry, President Obama. All right. But if it's not a title, the nursing professor, no, that's not a title. That's just a label. My uncle, that's a label. The president, that's a label. Specific places, right? New York City. All right. But they have to be specific. But we talk about something in general or just a common noun, what we call common nouns. Common nouns are never capitalized, like a city or a theme park or a coffee shop or a restaurant. You wouldn't say a restaurant, but you would say McDonald's or Outback or Piatto. You would capitalize Piatto and Outback. Organizations, the Red Cross, Doctors Without Borders. Okay. But we don't, anything that's common or general, we do not capitalize. So we wouldn't capitalize hospital or emergency response agency. Companies, Starbucks, Coca-Cola, Apple. But you wouldn't say, you would not capitalize a coffee house or a soda supplier, coffee manufacturer. Product names, Frappuccino, Oreo, Power Mac, but not a frozen coffee, a cookie, a computer. Religions, we talked about those. Languages, we talked about those. All right. Even when you use languages or nationality as an adjective, like French fries, you still capitalize French. You do not have to capitalize fries, but you still capitalize French. Spanish moss, again. So that's that's using nationality or language as an adjective. Even when you use it, anytime you use a formal language or nationality, you must capitalize. All right, same thing for nationalities. Holidays, capitalize them. All holidays, all official holidays, all departments. Joe Izette, you would capitalize. eras, the Great Depression, the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, capitalize it. Regions, the South, the North, the East. Okay, so if you talk about the South or the Southern region, you capitalize South. Course names, we went through that already. Titles of works, so names of books and titles, any title of any written work or movie or theatrical production, you capitalize. All right, let's see who's ready for a quick test. Just raise your hand and answer. Byron likes spicy foods, so he chose the Asian chicken wrap. Martha prefers bland dishes. Okay, Omar.
C.
Hey, French fries. Good job. Number 2. Janelle will take fundamentals of biology next semester. All right, Jude Bagash.
C.
Oh, I don't think this one's C. Janelle will take fundamentals of biology next semester. She hates science classes, but needs the credits to transfer to a university. Not C. Anybody else?
A.
Okay. No, not A. Jude Ali.
B, small letter.
B, because we're not naming the class specifically. You only capitalize the class unless it's being named specifically, like Science 101 or Biology 203. So that label the university gives, you need to capitalize it. Now, English class, you will always capitalize English class or Arabic class or French. Why? Because they're nationality and languages. So all languages you capitalize. But if it's class like math or science or philosophy or something like this, then unless you're specifically talking about naming the class, Biology 203, okay, or whatever the formal name of the class is, then you capitalize. So this answer is B, because science should not be capitalized. I want you to also notice here how they have the article in front of university, but they don't say any university, they say a university, because university takes on a consonant sound and not a vowel sound. So it's a university. All right. My family prefers to cook a ham on holidays, but Uncle Bart is a vegetarian, so my mother prepares tofurkey for him. Mazan.
A, holidays.
No, holidays is just a common noun. So it's not naming specifically holidays. So you would not need to capitalize holiday. Muhammad, you want to try?
Vegetarian.
No, not vegetarian. That's just a common noun also. Omar,
D.
no change?
Yeah.
No, it's actually uncle is a title. Remember we said we capitalize titles, right? So uncle is a title. So uncle should be capitalized here. Uncle Bart is a title. So uncle should be capitalized. Okay. All right. Remember, all titles Mr., Mrs., uncle, professor, engineer, nurse. All right, if it's someone's title, it should be capitalized. You have a question, Jude Bagash? You have a question, Jude Bagash?
No, you just can answer.
Okay. Why don't you answer the next one?
Okay.
Dai is Vietnamese, but she grew up in Puerto Rico, where she attended cooking school. Now she is the head chef at the Cuban restaurant on Orange Avenue. All right, which one is it, Jude Bagash?
B. Cooking class. School.
No, we don't want, that's a common noun. So we don't need
Okay.
to capitalize. All right,
Hmm.
Kadai,
A.
A, Vietnamese. Vietnamese is a nationality, so we need to capitalize all nationalities. Vietnamese is a nationality, so we need to capitalize all nationalities. All right. Let's go next. Turn left. We need to go west on Highway 50. Otherwise, we'll be heading towards Daytona Beach. Any, let's see. Recta.
Highway 50.
No, that's the name of the highway. That's not a common noun. That's the actual name of the highway. So I think we keep
it's D. D.
no change. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's no Daytona. That can't be right. Oh, okay. No, that is right. Because you don't need beach. Beach can be lowercase. Daytona Beach, lowercase. I don't know about that one. That one, because some people would capitalize that one. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I think they got that one wrong. I know they're going to say that beach should be lowercase, but a lot of people, because Daytona Beach is the name of the city. So I don't like that answer. I don't like that answer at all. Yeah, I think it's D actually. So let's go with D. C is not right. I know why they said C, but nah, no. Let's go with D on that one. Caitlin used her last dollar to buy M&M candies. She would have enjoyed a Pepsi to wash them down, but the cafeteria prices were too expensive. Let's go Shahad.
A.
A, M&Ms, because that's the name of a product. Okay, very good. Juan is taking a religion class this semester. He likes the professor and the readings, but he most enjoys the intoxicating perfume that Isabella, his table mate, wears. Omar.
B.
No, because this is just professor. It's not saying Professor Ray or Professor Muhammad. This is just the title professor, like teacher. So if it said his name, Professor Ray, then yes, you would capitalize it. But it's professor. Katie, Kadai.
Religion. A.
No, religion again is just a common noun. It's not saying the name of the religion class. So that one's fine. What about Jude Ali?
No change. D.
Yeah, no change. This one's no change. Because you don't need to capitalize religion. Don't need to capitalize professor. Excuse me. And you don't need to capitalize perfume. So this one's no change. Okay. Now, again, if it was the actual religion class, like Islamic Studies 515 or Christianity 203, or right, or if it said Professor Ahmed or Professor Sarah, right? Then you would capitalize that. Perfume, if it actually named the exact product of the perfume. But these are all what we call common, A, B, and C are common nouns. Okay. Patrick visited the police station to see if someone had found Squeeze, his 9-foot albino python, but Officer Rodriguez said that no reptiles have been recently caught. Regda, when you try that one?
B, Python.
No, python is a common noun. This is like names of animals like lion. You don't need to capitalize like lion or bear, right? So no, that's common. Muhammad?
C, officer.
Yes. Why?
Because name, title before name.
Title before his name. Very good. So Officer Rodriguez, because that's his title. Okay. So remember, any title before name, officer, nurse, teacher, professor. Okay. Jeffrey thought he would hate humanities, but once Professor Kimball reached the Italian Renaissance, the beautiful marble nudes got Jeffrey's attention. All right. Oops. Anyone want to try this one? Mohammed, you want to try this one again?
What?
You want to try this one again? Your hand is still raised.
D, son.
D, no, there's a change in this one. Lubna.
Maybe it is number C. Because professor, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Renaissance because Renaissance is a historical era, right? It's a time in history, the Italian Renaissance. So we need to capitalize Renaissance. So very good. C is the answer. All right, the last one. Nikki is practicing Hindu. She was offended when Sean pulled into McDonald's drive-thru to order a Big Mac. Shahad?
A, because Hindi language.
Yes, not language, but not a language, but
Religion.
here it's being used as a religion. Very good. Okay. So these are all some practices regarding language. Regda, you have a question?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. So we have we went over capitalization. So when I ask you to write a sentence next week when I ask you to write a sentence, I expect everyone to write sentences that have good capitalization. All right. So what I'm showing you guys, everything that we're going over is going to be important for next semester, especially when it's time to write those essays and those paragraphs and those reports. Your teachers are going to be so amazed that you already know how to do this stuff. All right. We're forming good sentences. We're using good punctuation. Next week, we'll talk about punctuation. Now we know how to capitalize. We know our subject-verb agreement. We know our different types of sentences. We know our articles. Man, you guys are going to be able to knock it out of the park. Okay. All right, let's go back to our let's go back to our story, the pedestrian. Let's go back to our story. I gotta pull it up. I will put that PowerPoint also up in the resources in the Google Classroom. All right. Hold on one second, guys. All right, so let's go back get back into our story. Remember, I want everyone to engage the story because we're breaking this story down. So I want you guys to be able to understand the text. So when you're taking an exam or you have to read something, you do better in your reading comprehension. Okay, so we're going over literary elements. So go back to the notes section. Hopefully you're dividing your notebook in sections. Hopefully you're dividing your notebook in sections. First section is sentence structure and grammar. All right. Mechanics section. Mechanics will be things like punctuation. Right. Okay. And then hopefully you have a section called reading comprehension, or you might name it the pedestrian section. Or you can call it the vocabulary because we talk about vocabulary. Okay. But again, this is the improve your reading comprehension. Please make sure that you're doing your 5 read theories a day. All right, make sure you're doing 5 read theories a day. If you can do more, do more. Okay. Okay. All right. Yesterday, someone give us just a quick summary of what we talked about yesterday in the story and where we are in the story from yesterday. Anyone?
No, doctor.
Go ahead, Trap.
No question.
Can anyone? Okay, Rector.
I think the last thing we discussed yesterday is the car. When the car talked to the man.
What's the man's name?
Leonard Mead, I think.
Leonard Mead.
Yes.
Why did the police car stop Mr. Mead?
Because he walking at the midnight alone.
Yes. How many police cars are there in this city?
This one stopped Mr. Leonard.
And why is that ironic? Why is that ironic that there's only one police car in the city?
Because nobody outside at the night.
But why is it ironic there's only one police car? Omar, why is it ironic that there's only one police car?
Because there are 3 million.
3 million people in the city and there's only one police car. Now, what does that say about the city, Omar? What do you think the author is trying to say here? that about the people in this city. There's one police car. It was last year. I think they said last year, right? There were 3, and then they went all the way down to 1. So what is the author trying to tell us about the city?
They are like ghosts. There's nobody.
Yeah, there's like, in what way are they like ghosts?
Because they are in their house.
People are not socializing with each other, right?
Yeah.
And so because people are not socializing with each other, there's no conflict. There's no problems. So they don't need police because everyone's in the house. Or not, well, hold on a second. This is weird because we know during the day, we know that during the day it's pretty busy, right? Remember they said yesterday we talked about during the day it's busy, that the people are like insects.
Yeah.
But I think what the author is trying to tell us is that even when it's busy, that the people are not communicating, they're not engaging one another. And because the people are not engaging one another, talking to one another, and they're ghosts, as you said, there's really no need for policemen because there's no conflict, there's no problems, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. Now remember, Mr. Mead is stopped by the police. The police officers have not come out of the car, which is pretty strange. All right. I think personally, there's no one in the car. What do you think, Lubna? Do you think somebody's actually in the car? Lubna? Shahad, do you think someone's actually in the car?
No, because the car like robot, she talks
think
and move.
Yep.
Yeah, because no
I
human in this city, and when technology has development so far, so they use the robots and يعني they use the robots for like this. No.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I personally, I don't think it's anyone in the car. I think it's AI, right? Artificial intelligence, right? The robot, as you say, the car is a robot. All right. And the car is pretty intelligent too. We'll see if somebody's actually in the car. We'll see. Let's go back. It says, you might say that, said Mr. Mead. We read this yesterday, but I'm gonna read it again. He hadn't written in years. Magazines and books didn't sell anymore, right? Anything went on in the tomb-like houses at night now, he thought, continuing his fancy. Everything went on in the tomb-like houses at night now, he thought, continuing his fancy. The tombs, ill-lit by television lights, where the people sat like the dead, the gray and multicolored lights touching their faces, but never really touching them. All right, we talked about it yesterday, the zombies, the people are almost like zombies, dead. No profession, said the phonograph voice, hissing. What are you doing out? Walking, said Mr. Mead. Walking? Just walking, he said simply, but his face felt cold. Walking? Just walking? Walking? Yes, sir. Walking where? For what? Walking for air. Walking to see. Your address? 11 South St. James Street. And there is air in your house? You have an air conditioner, Mr. Mead? Yes. And you have a viewing screen in your house to see with? No. No. There was a crackling quiet that in itself was an accusation. Are you married, Mr. Mead? No. Not married? Said the police voice behind the fiery beam. The moon was high and clear among the stars, and the houses were gray and silent. Nobody wanted me, said Leonard Mead with a smile. Don't speak unless you're spoken to. Leonard Mead waited in the cold night. Just walking, Mr. Mead? Yes. But you haven't explained for what purpose. I explained for air and to see and just to walk. Have you done this before? Or excuse me, have you done this often? Every night for years. The police car sat in the center of the street with its radio though faintly humming. Well, Mr. Mead, it said. Is that all? He asked politely. Yes, said the voice. Here, there was a sigh, a pop. The back door of the police car sprung wide. Get in. Wait a minute. I haven't done anything. Get in. I protest, Mr. Mead. He walked like a man suddenly drunk. As he passed the front window of the car, he looked in. As he expected, there was no one in the front seat, no one in the car at all. Get in. He put his hands to the door and peeled into the back seat, which was a little cell, a little black jail with bars. It smelled of riveted steel. It smelled of harsh antiseptic. It smelled too clean and hard and metallic. There was nothing soft there. Now, if you had a wife to give you an alibi, said the iron voice, but where are you taking me? But where are you taking me? The car hesitated, or rather gave a faint whirring click, as if information somewhere was dropping card by punch slided card under electric eyes. To the Psychiatric Center for Research on Regressive Tendencies. He got in. The door shut with a soft thud. The police car rolled through the night avenues, flashing its dim lights ahead. They passed one house on one street. At a moment later, one house in an entire city of houses that were dark. But this one particular house had all of its electric lights brightly lit. Every window a loud yellow illumination, square and warm in the cool darkness. That's my house, said Leonard Mead. No one answered him. The car moved down the empty riverbed streets and off away, leaving the empty streets with the empty sidewalks and no sound and no motion, all the rest of the chill November night. All right, that's The Pedestrian, short story called The Pedestrian. So I'm gonna ask everyone, I want you to write in the chat box, the question is, what do you think the author was trying to say about the future? What do you think the author was trying to say about the future? All right, write your answer in the chat box. What do you think the author was trying to say about the future? Remember, this is a story about the future. The author is predicting what he thinks the future may be 100 years in the future, right? Because when the story was written, it was written in 1951. So what do you think the author is saying about the future?
Teacher, can you repeat the question?
What do you think the author is saying or predicting about the future? What do you think the author is saying or predicting about the future? What do you think the author is saying or predicting about the future? What do you think? What do you think the author is saying or predicting about the future? Rutgers says, I think he thought the future, there's no communication between people. Okay. Trad, you want me to write the answer, the question? I will. No problem. What do you think the author is predicting or saying about the future? No problem. No problem, Trad. So what do you think the author, the author, I'll write it again. What do you think the author is saying or predicting about the future? Houses in the air. Okay, Lubna, what do you mean by houses in the air?
Higher. Because teacher here, he said, there is fire in your house. Also, 11.
There. No, why do you think the police officer asked if there was air in the house? Why did he ask that question? Why did he ask if there was air in the house? If he had an air conditioning in the house? Why did he ask that question? For what purpose did he ask that? You're right. The police said, he asked them, is there air in your house? I think he said, is there a screen, a viewing screen in your house? Because remember, Mr. Mead, when the police asked Mr. Mead, why are you walking? He said to get air, to see, right? To walk. Okay. And the police said, is there air conditioning in your house? What was he saying? What was the police trying to imply? What was the police trying to imply?
Irony, maybe?
Huh? I didn't hear you. what was the police trying to imply when he asked, is there air in the house? Well, I think he was trying to say, why are you going outside? There's no reason for you to go outside because you have air conditioning in your house. Why you want air for? You got air conditioning in your house. Isn't that strange? Judah Ali says the master thought that the number of police cars was many due to the large number of residents. And he was surprised that the police was talking. All right. Okay, so master thought the number of police cars was due to the number of he thought the police car was talking. Okay, but let's answer the question I'm trying to get to. Is what is the author trying to say? What is he trying to predict about the future? What's he saying about the future? Caddy says, Kadai says the professions will change. Okay, let's go down that road, Kadai. Professions will change. Explain that a little bit more. Professions will change. Kadai?
Yes, because when he said I'm a writer, he said that's not a job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Will be everything in technology, the job, and
So the computers will do all the writing for you, right?
yes.
Right. I think you're right. I think you're right. And that the people just, in fact, I would argue that there would not be any professions, that the police would do everything. Right? Shahad says he thinks that the people's lives in the future will be like ghosts because of the development of technology, where they would do everything from their homes and the lack of need of humans because of robots controlling everything and use a special program. Shahad, you hit it right on the head. Perfect, Shahad. Perfect explanation. Absolutely perfect explanation. That basically he's saying that humans will not be active creatures anymore. That he kept on mentioning tomb-like. He said tomb-like several times throughout the short story. Tomb-like, graveyard, ghosts, phantoms, right? That humans in the future will not live that life. Okay. All right. Omar, I didn't hear a response from you. I didn't hear a response from you, Omar.
Yeah, teacher.
I didn't get a response. Did I get a response from you?
Yeah,
I don't did. Where?
I'm the first person.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
In the chat, or
In the chat.
in the chat I didn't.
So just tell me, what do you think the author is trying to say about the future? What do you think the author is trying to say about the future?
I think you want to say in the future, people, there's no people. They were like ghosts.
I agree. I agree that the idea of people, that the definition of a person will change. Now, here's a good question. Now think about everything that's going on today. I know you guys read about what's going on in the Western world. And in some cases, it's also going on in some parts of other parts of the world. In many cases, it is actually. So given everything that's going on now in 2022, mind you, that he was predicting 2050, what, 53 it was? 2053, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's only 30 years away. My question to you, and write your answer down in the chat box, please. Is he right? And
Teacher.
explain why. Is he right? Is the author correct? Is he right about his assessment?
I have answer.
Okay, tell me.
I do not support prediction because in most cases you will take turns because you expect them, and this does not prevent experimentation and prediction, and do not depend on it.
Yeah, you shouldn't predict. Predictions are necessary to make in our lives so we can plan. But do you rely 100% on predictions? No, absolutely not. But we need them to plan. That's how we all predict. We all do. That's what our brains do. But you got to be, as you say, you should be careful with predictions. Yes. Rector says he is right in some points. Okay, Rector, what points is he right about?
I think
What point-
he is right that the people is not communicate together.
Mhm.
Nowadays, I think it's right.
Do you think it'll get to the point where the government is going to ask people just to stay home?
Not like this.
But think about it for a second, Rector. We had COVID last year, right?
Yes, of course.
What did we do for 3 months? What? How many months did we have to stay in the house?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, you don't
Maybe-
remember?
Maybe 3
No,
or
it
more.
was about 3 months, right? The lockdown.
Yes.
Lockdown was about 3.
3 months.
And now imagine if you were walking at night, what would the police do?
Yes. They are on the street.
Right? Wouldn't they stop you? What is this? Why are you here? Why are you walking?
Yes, of course.
I don't know. I think Ray Bradbury's prediction is scary. Remember, he wrote this in 1951. It's scary because we saw it with COVID. Scary, scary, scary. Kadai says, he said walking at night is like a crime because it's strange. And this means that our habits will change in the future. Yep. You're right, Kadai. Our habits are changing. Look at everything that's going on now right now. We see I know you read you see on TikTok and all the other social media about, let's be honest. Right now, the big question is, does everybody know what the big question is in the Western society right now? What's the number one question in Western society right now? Does anybody know? What's the hot question right now in Western society, in Western culture?
Can you explain? What do you want to?
What's the number one question that everybody is asking right now in Western culture? What's the big question? Right now that's trending. Does anybody know?
Politics, maybe?
The big question that's trending right now is, what is a woman? That's the big question right now in Western culture, is that people are trying to redefine, because that's what Caddy said, like habits will change in the future. A couple of you guys said that, things changing. So right now in the Western culture, the big question is, what is a woman? Now, 5 years ago, that was a very easy question to answer, what a woman is. But in 2022, it's a question that many people don't want to answer. Either they do not want to answer it because they don't want to be canceled. They don't want to be ostracized. They don't want to be disliked. Why? Because there's a group of people trying to redefine gender. Now, if we redefine gender, then we're redefining humanity, what it means to be a human. So,
صح.
right? So if
Teacher, sorry,
Did
teacher,
I-
for interrupting. I have a question.
yes,
What's mean in gender? What's this word you chose? In gender,
what word?
now when we're talking, you said word like gender or something like this.
Say it again. I can't hear you.
Now when we talk, when you talk, you said vocabulary. I don't know what's this mean. Gender lie or something.
Gender, redefine gender.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you know what gender is, right?
Yeah, but what's this mean on you talk?
Gender. What
No,
is the
no.
word
Gender fine.
redefine? Redefine. Redefine means to change the definition of something, to change something, to redefine it, to make something normal, to redefine something. Like for instance, okay, I'll give you a good example. Right now, Saudi Arabia is redefining itself, right? Isn't it? Right? Saudi Arabia is redefining itself. Women can drive, women not wearing abayas, the country is opening up, laws are changing. You see, it's redefining itself. What does word re means? Re means to do over, right?
To do over, to change, to bad
change.
things or good things.
Right. So define is what something means. So redefine is to change or do over a definition. So what's happening now in Western culture is you have people who are trying to redefine what it means to be a woman.
Okay.
Right. So now, because you have people mainly in Western culture, in other cultures too, but mainly in Western culture, that says they don't know what a woman is. That a woman is anyone who says that they're a woman. So, Lubna,
Yes, teacher, thank you.
what if I said I'm a woman? What if I say this? What do you think?
If women.
No, I'm telling you. No, listen. I'm telling you I am a woman.
But you are, you as man. You are man.
But no, I feel like I'm a woman.
Oh my God.
Right? So there are people.
Not good things. Why you
Right.
think like that?
This is the problem. There are people right now in Western cultures who are saying this, right? Caitlyn Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, all these people who are saying, oh, I'm not man, I'm woman, right? Are they not trying to redefine what a woman is? Huh? Isn't that a redefinition? Right? Somebody talk to me now.
Yeah, right.
It's a redefinition, right? Now, I'm a man. Obviously, I'm a man, right? I'm a man. I know I'm a man. I look like a man. I sound like a man. I have facial hair like a man. However, there are people who look just like me that say they're women. Is this not redefining humanity? Because if I can say I'm a woman, right? Am I not redefining humanity, what it means to be human?
Yeah.
Isn't that what I'm redefining humanity? So I think
Yes.
in many ways, the author is absolutely correct about the future. The author is absolutely correct about the future, because not only am I able to say in 2022, on August the 2nd, 2022, I'm able to say in Western society, I am able to say I am a woman. And if you say that I'm not a woman, I can call you I can say you're a bad person. Right? I can force you to believe what I believe. In some societies right now, in some countries. That is redefining humanity. And I think that's what the author Ray Bradbury is saying here with this story, that in the future, what it means to be human will be redefined. The definition of humanity will change. In fact, here's what I want you to do tonight for homework, or this weekend for homework, since this is our last class this week. I want you to look up the YouTube video. What is the name of the video? The video is, we got to look it up. I'm gonna put the link in the Google Classroom, but the video is called "What is a Woman?" That's what it's called. I'll put the link, but even if you just type in, what is a woman on YouTube, it's crazy the number of results you get. You would think you wouldn't get a lot of results. I'm going to put the full documentary of what is a woman on the Google Classroom. In fact, I'll do it right now. I want you guys and ladies and gentlemen, you can't even say you guys anymore. I want you, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to watch this documentary this weekend, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it next week, and we're going to write about it also. Come on, where's it at? It came up on one computer. We're going to talk about it. Is this the whole thing? No. Yeah, there it is. We're going to talk about this next week, so I want you to watch it. Also, do your five read theories a day. But I want you to watch this documentary because it's important now, because, and it's extremely important for you guys, because you need to know, because your English is not strong yet. it's going to be easy for people who speak English to try to trick you, right? Through the words they use. So it's important. What I want you guys to get out of this course with me is I want you to be good thinkers. And I want you to learn to think for yourself, because there's a lot of people who want to think for you, just like the short story that we read. There's a lot of people who want to think for you. Okay? So I want you to begin to think for yourself. Okay? So I want you to watch this documentary. It's a documentary called What is a Woman? And in the instructions, I want you to write 2 sentences that explain how you feel after watching this documentary. Okay, I just want you to write 2 sentences to explain how you feel after watching this documentary. All right, you're gonna find it in the homework tab. We're gonna make it due Saturday night by midnight. So I want you to watch it by midnight Saturday. All right, and I want to read your responses before the class on Sunday. Okay.
So teacher, you want a summary when we watch, write summary when we watch this video?
No, you don't write a summary. I just want you to write 2 sentences about how you feel
How you feel?
after watching the documentary. Okay. I want to know how you feel after watching this. Because again, this is important because I want you guys to not, there's a lot of information that's going on in the internet right now. And a lot of it is in English. And I don't want you guys falling into a trap, all right? And believing everything that you hear because it's in English or not understanding it well. So I'm trying to train you on being able to think for yourself. And you do this by understanding what you are listening to and what you are hearing. All right? Because I don't want you guys just to start believing everything that you hear. Okay? I want you to believe the things that you understand first and be able to use all of your experiences and all of your common sense and logic to come up with your own opinion. Because it's very important in these days, in these times that we live in now, that you're able to think for yourself. Sir?
Yes.
This is the main reason why you go to university. You don't go to university to be a doctor. You don't go to university to be a lawyer. You don't go to university to be an engineer. This is not why you go to university. You go to university so you learn how to think well. That's what university means. University means universal thinking, that you can see the big picture. So I don't want people going to university to get a job. No, this is not why you go to university. You go to university so you learn how to become a lifelong learner. You learn how to think for yourself. Okay? So if you're going to learn how to think for yourself, that means you have to read, you have to be able to read and understand what you read, analyze, evaluate what you read, whether it's in Arabic, whether it's in English, whether it's in French, whether it's in Chinese, whether it's in Spanish. Anytime you read something, anytime you hear something, if you don't understand something, you get more clarification. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Can you repeat that? Can you say it a different way? Okay. So that's the main thing I want you to get out of this course. I want you to become very good thinkers. All right. All right. So that is the homework for this weekend. It's in the homework. It's due Saturday night. I only want 2 sentences. 2 sentences only. I want to know how you feel after watching that documentary. Okay. I want to know because, and here's the why. The why is it should be this question, what is a woman, should be a very simple answer. Right, Lubna?
Yes, teacher. Also, teacher, I have a question.
Yeah.
When we write this 2 sentences, we send email or put it in the classroom.
Just put it in the class. Put it in the Google Classroom.
Where?
Right when you could put it in as you can upload it as an attachment, or you can send it as a private note. Either way.
Okay.
Okay. But this should be, Shahad, should the question, what is a woman, should that not be an easy question to answer?
Of course, no.
Of course. I should not be able to say that I am a woman, right?
Yes, that's ridiculous because because some countries the same was I am woman, he's really man, he's born like a man. Okay, you should respect that. He feel like that, you heard that. But when Muslims, women, or anything believe what he has belief, okay, and he say, why you believe that? He's not respect me, but I should respect him because I don't know what's he thinking. So I should. I know what he says, and بدافع عن نفسي كيف. I will not shush. I will answer him and talking with him. You know what I mean?
No, I understand what you're saying. Listen, I don't want anyone to get me wrong. Okay. And I'm not,
I know what you mean.
I'm not trying to preach to you guys. I just want you to understand and think for yourself. If a man feels like he's a woman, I'm not saying we should try to convince him otherwise. What I am saying is that we should not allow that to change humanity, right? Because if I can say that I am a woman and people start taking me seriously, then that means I'm changing humanity. I'm redefining what it means to be human. And this is not right.
Of course. I agree with you about this point.
Okay. All right. So I want you guys to watch that documentary. Whatever you feel about it, your opinion is your opinion. I'm not trying to, if you feel a certain way about this topic, that's fine. But what I want to be able to express is this idea of redefining humanity and what it means to be a human. And that some things are just facts, right? Some things are just facts and not opinion, okay? And it's okay, we should respect people's opinions. Absolutely. Respect someone's opinion. but also we cannot deny facts. Make sense, Rector?
Yes.
Right? We shouldn't deny facts. Respect people's opinions, but do not deny facts. Right, Omar? Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? Respect people's opinions, but do not deny facts.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. All right. I hope everyone have a I hope everyone has, not have. I hope everyone has a great weekend, rest of the week. I want you to do 5 read theories a day. I'm going to check this week to make sure that everybody's doing that 5 a day, because I can see your the work, the amount of quizzes you have done. All right. Try to watch as much news as possible in English, or watch movies in English to continue to improve your English. Look up words you don't understand. If you have a big problem, ask me. You can ask me on WhatsApp. You can ask me on Google Classroom. All right. Also watch that documentary. What is a woman? It's about an hour and a half, so you need a little time. Okay, it's about an hour and a half long, so you need some time. Finally, please do make sure that you sign in for hours 2 and hour 3. Take the attendance for hours 2 and 3. Hours 2 and 3, make sure you do your attendance. Are there any questions?
No, teacher, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you,
We'll see you next Sunday, inshallah. Bye for now.